Hey, this is Nick Aldis, your favorite GM, former world champion, and friend of K100 despite being on probation. A few years ago, I started Legacy Sports Nutrition to sell high-quality supplements made in the USA to people like me and hopefully people like you. Since we launched, code K100 is the most used promo code at LegacySubs.com, which is a testament to the listeners of this show as intelligent people who care about their health and performance with bestsellers like Test X9 Testosterone Booster and our Recovery PM Sleep Aid. I use these products myself, and so does my wife, Hall of Famer Mickie James, as well as a bunch of your favorite wrestlers. Try our stuff now at LegacySubs.com. That's LegacySupps.com, and use code K100 for 10% off and to support this podcast.
I wanted to ask you this question. I actually brought this up to Xavier once. I remember when I was, remember WrestleMania Dallas?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's when I knew you guys were over, because I was walking down the streets and people were screaming, New Day rocks, and they were clapping, and New Day, like just on the streets, you know? And I was like,
26 on him.
Yeah.
2016.
Well, the reason I remembered is because I was very tired from partying 2 or 3 days in a row, and Teddy Hart had a Jaguar. And I asked him, bro, can I just lay down in your Jaguar and close my eyes? And I laid back and a cat ran across my face. He had like 5 cats.
Yeah.
Bro, he had like 5 cats in a brand new Jaguar with kitty litter and everything. It was
Hearts are cat people, man. They're cat people. Natty too. You know, TJ, they love their cats for sure.
Yeah, he'll come out with a cat and put it in the corner and throw it up in the air. But anyways, so
he's a special cat, man. I like Teddy, man. He keeps you on your toes, man.
He's a wild one, yeah. So anyways, I remember that time, and I remember thinking, wow, these guys are super over. And I kind of thought, and I don't know if I was wrong, but I just kind of thought, wow, a lot of fans are kind of nerds, and I don't mean that derogatorily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these guys are kind of like black nerds that are cool. Would that be a correct label?
100%. You know, and I think the most beautiful thing about the whole New Day story is that we can do it in a way that was like prototypical wrestler, right? You think, you know, WWE superstar, you got to be 6'3", you got to be 275, muscle bound, and you talk like this and you're angry at everybody. And, you know, like I mean, all of us are we all under 6 feet? I mean, I'm right about 6. I'm right about 6 feet. I think he was like 5'11" or something like that. Maybe right about 6, maybe 6'1". I don't know. But we're not like your prototypical looking wrestlers. And we're just into a lot of different things that the everyday person is into: video games,
gaming,
comic books, you know, anime, kung fu movies. And I think when people would see us on TV, they saw a lot of themselves in us. I mean, we came out with unicorn horns, bright colors, pitching ice cream, pancakes, twerking, Bootio cereal, stuff that is like, it's funny to the stuff that you would do with your boys, you know?
Right.
But for us, you know, to be on WWE, kind of breaking the mold in a way that wasn't like, you know, stereotypical African-American guy that you would see as a wrestler, right? Like,
right, like the guy with I'll give you the stereotypical black guy when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Headbutt. Like, every black guy had a hard head.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like the Samoans.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me just go real quick, just go, because it relates to what Conan was saying. I remember I was at the Rumble, Kofi, when the New Day had first started, the one in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And the crowd hadn't really taken to the gimmick yet. It was still just starting, but mostly it was like the choir in the background, the video and stuff.
Yeah.
So that didn't seem to work at first, and you guys got booed a lot that night. You're supposed to be baby faces, but it seemed to me the gimmick became more successful as it changed, and you guys got to put more of your real personalities in it. So I guess my question was, how did that process work, where you were able to convince Vince at the time, we need to change this, we need to be more like ourselves and not this stereotypical, you know?
Yeah. So it was crowds like that, crowds like Philly, crowds like Detroit. There were very specific times where, so I'll back it up. Like when we first wanted to be a group, you know, we had gone to Vince and we said like, hey, you know, we want to be like 3 guys who are really disgruntled with their jobs, you know, and they want to come together to be greater than the sum of their parts, you know? And he was like, yeah, that sounds cool, but maybe we'll have you be preachers. And we're like, you know, but we knew. So I remember like all of us sitting in that room and listening to him talk about how like successful he thought that gimmick was going to be. We knew right away that like nobody comes to a WWE show to go to church. Number one. So they don't want to be preached at, you know what I mean? So we're like, okay, cool. we knew that with the chemistry that we had, that regardless of what he gave us to do, all we wanted was an opportunity to be on screen, you know? And we knew we would shine through. So once we wanted to be bad guys in the first place. So we came out, and then people were happy that we were doing something new. But then, like you said, very quickly, everyone really turned on us and started to tell us how much we sucked. And we just loved that. That's what we wanted in the first place. And it kind of worked out better because we weren't your stereotypical bad guys that were just like, oh, I'm angry, so I'm going to come out there and beat you up. We were guys who were like, pretended to be one thing, pretending like we were, with the Dudleys, save the tables. We want to save the tables so bad. Oh my gosh, we care about the quality of the wood. And you guys are putting watermarks on the table. You guys don't even use cup holders. Oh my gosh. But then in the end, we come out and we try to put them through a table. So we're obviously out there, we're, full of it. But, we got to be bad guys in a very different way. And I think that was really entertaining to people. And then when we became so good at being bad guys, then, people started embracing us, right? So the crazy thing, and I always tell people, is like, we didn't change anything. We came out, you know what I mean? We told people to be the best versions of themselves, and they were like, nah, we don't want that. You guys suck. I'm like, well, hold on a minute. What do you mean? We're trying to make you better. You know what I mean? And you're telling us that we suck. So anyway, it's a problem with the WWE universe as opposed to us. We say the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, too, is that you have ever since like the smart fan community has grown over the years, that when you start being just so good at a heel, that this faction of the crowd just starts applauding your performance as heels, and then all of a sudden
you're
it's
making
like,
us laugh,
when you're going to shows now and kids are in the crowd, now they start cheering along, with things, and then all of a sudden it's like you're getting cheered down. But then let me ask you this: so like when you guys were baby faces, when did you get that? Like, how long into your babyface run when you got when you saw the merch checks and you're like, whoa, boy, like, wow, when did it open your eyes? When you're like, well, we're really onto something here. Like when did it change?
So it was probably that WrestleMania in Dallas. That's when we came out of the Bootios box. Mm-hmm. So we had the #1 selling T-shirt in all of WrestleMania throughout that entire week. And that is above, like, John Cena at the time was on the roster. Randy Orton was on the roster, So that, to me, I was like, man, like, we really have something. When you can go out and make the people react and feel, like, that's the goal. Like, that's what we're always taught when we're coming up. You want to be able to make the people feel something emotionally. And they were just like, even like, Conan, you were saying, like, you were hearing people in the streets before the shows. It was always New Day Rocks before the shows would even start. And then in the parking lot, people will be beeping their horns in the parking lot in traffic. You know what I mean? To the same.
And on the way out,
the way out of the show.
Yeah. So we had a pretty good idea that we were onto something, but the main thing was that we were just having fun. We wanted to go out there and pop each other. And by doing that, like, if you're walking down the street and you see 3 dudes having a good time, then you want to know what's going on. You want to be a part of it. Hey, why are they laughing so hard, man? What are they doing? What are they getting into? And that's kind of what was happening with all the people watching us in the ring. We're out there trying to just pop ourselves, And, people wanted to be a part of it.
Get in the game with the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bet on the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, golf, MMA, and more. Every sport, every market, right at your fingertips. Deposit instantly with PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, starting at just $10. Win big and cash out fast. PayPal in 24 hours or instantly at retail sportsbooks. Available in over 20 states, FanDuel's app is your ticket to the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now.
I just always thought, and this is the thing that I had told Xavier, I just always thought it was great because when I first saw that gimmick, the first
iterate,
right, the first well, not just the first iteration, but like the first video where like you guys were in a choir or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, this is whack. And I go, poor guys, they're giggity straddled with something that's gonna bury them. But bro, I just thought it was genius the way you just flipped it and made it into your own thing, and they went along with it because they were like, okay, this is working.
Yeah, it's like, a lot of times what I've found is the most valuable asset you can have as a WWE superstar is the ability to adjust.
Right.
Because you have no idea what is going to be given to you. You have no idea when you're going to pop off. You have no idea if one word that you say in your promo is gonna pop off, yeet, right? You know what I mean? Like Jay been saying yeet for years. You know what I mean? Backstage, and then all of a sudden he said it out there, and then all of a sudden everybody starts saying it with him, and he's onto something, you know? So it's being able to like have your finger on the pulse of what's hot is the key, and then having the courage to lean all the way in. Because a lot of people would have been mad with the gimmick that they were given. For us, we were like, okay, well, let's see what we can do with this. We're gonna flip it and we're gonna make it special, regardless of like what it is or what it's supposed to be. We're gonna make it into something that people are gonna like, and we're gonna have fun with it. So committing the whole your whole heart and your whole energy, you know, and all your efforts, like leaning all the way in 110% is the key. Because if you're out there and you don't believe in it even a little bit, people see through that. And you're out there and people don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't really get behind it because they know it's disingenuous or inauthentic.
Well, plus too, you know, you got this thing where, you know how it is in the locker when things are hot, right? You know, everybody's back in the locker room, the boys, and you know, we're listening to the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, it gives you confidence when you go out there every night and you're you know, your act is still one of the biggest pops every night.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is, like, I wasn't a big fan of the gimmick, but I'm a guy that like they're doing something right because the people with them huge, like to get one of the biggest pops each night. What's it like? The guys bust each like the way we used to back in the day. If you're out there and like you didn't get over, did the guys kind of bust backstage?
Man, nah, man, stuff is way different now. Y'all were crazy. You hear about like y'all people's bags and stuff. I don't know, man. You guys used to do things a little bit different. You know, people will come back and tell us about all the stories of what you guys used to do. But you know, it's no, I don't think people like bust chops like that. I think we're in a situation, at least like my mentality has always been that like we're all in this same boat, man. And the more that my coworker can get over, the more I'm going to be able to get over. So I'm always trying to think of things I can do to like help people get to where they need to be. And it'll always come back around, you know, with Grayson Waller right now, you know what I'm saying? Like people are like, oh my God, this is such a random pairing, but he's really, really good and really talented, man. So to be able to put him into the mix with us, it brings a different dynamic for us, but then it also allows him to like show this audience what he can do. The NXT people already know he used to have the Grayson Waller experience, and he was like just awesome in NXT. But you know, that's obviously like a smaller viewership. But now being able to see him on the main stage, like, you know, he's a star. So anything we can do to accentuate him, like in the long run, is going to help us, but it's going to help the industry, and it's also going to help with it's going to entertain the people. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to make sure that people leave with the best experience possible. So I think it's a little bit different, man. I don't know. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I was on like the tail end of a lot of people who were in your generation. I think there was a mentality of like almost like dog eat dog, man. Like I want to get over before anybody else, and like undercutting and stuff like that. I've never had that mentality, and I don't think you see a lot of that now.
It was dog eat dog, except with your friends, right?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because the funny thing is, like, bro, if you like you know, it's kind of weird how wrestling today, like, it's gotten a lot more athletic and risky, you know. But dude, back in like our day, if you had a botch in a match, like if you miss a spot, you were like, oh no, you can't. When you come back to the curtain, Kidman would be like the first guy there, just cracking up and shooting up. You know? And it's funny because I know he's in the go position now, right? Like in a show thing. But bro, it's funny. Like, you know, back in the day, we just used to bust each other if you missed a spot, you know. And like the back in the day, it was kind of like, it's weird. You could have the people, but you would just feel miserable if you like missed a spot in the match and everything. Go ahead.
No, there's still a little bit of that. There's still definitely a little bit of that too, because I think like we're all perfectionists, you know, and there's a lot of times where, I mean, people are so talented on the roster that if something goes wrong, a lot of people who are watching might not necessarily know, but it'll stick with us because we wanted it to come out a certain way. We wanted to tell a story to perfection. And if one thing was off, we're like, man, we could have given them that much more.
Right.
So there, you know, there's a little bit of that. Like we'll bust each other's chops a little bit, you know, but I think it's all good natured as opposed to, again, you know, people's bags. That's
people's bags. Let me explain something.
That was like even before us, kind of.
That wasn't really
mid-90s.
That wasn't busting chops. That was if you didn't like somebody.
Yeah.
And you were kind of telling him you're a piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of like the generation before us.
Yeah.
Right.
So Kofi, you've like we said before, you've been around for a couple of generations. Basically, you've seen him come and go, and you mentioned Grayson. But who are some of the guys you see today, either on the main roster in NXT, like that are really on the come up that you see a bright future for?
Yeah, the future is real bright, man. Carmelo Hayes, I think, is immensely talented. And when he gets his opportunity, he's going to just blow the roof off. Even the stuff he's doing with Miz right now, embracing that, he's killing it there. I think he's going to be great. Trick Williams, for sure. Gosh, I mean, there's so many. There's so many. Like, you look at the roster head to toe, and really, I mean, everybody is talented.
And not only that, bro, like just about everybody's a good worker now.
Yeah.
You know, where before you had guys that weren't that good. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.